Wow, we're up to about 172 parents and maybe a few students online right now. We're sitting at right about 6:01. Um, Let me just welcome everyone. We're going to talk about summer launch. This is our summer learning options this summer. Um, and my name is Jennifer Perez. I'm the director of the Family Communications Department of Fort Worth ISD. We have our superintendent, Dr. Kent Scribner. We also have Dr. David Sines, who is Chief of Innovation, and his team has really been the one working behind the scenes, putting everything together for this very unique opportunity for our students this year. We weren't able to do the Facebook Live, but this meeting is being recorded and we will make sure that it is posted and available tomorrow. We'll make sure that that link gets posted on Facebook. So anyone that was not able to attend the meeting tonight can definitely easily share that from the district Facebook page because we're going to cover a lot of ground this evening. If at any time you have questions, about the content or the programs this summer, please put them in the chat. We are going to have the opportunity to try to run through as many questions as possible after the presentation. So we look forward to listening and hearing from you. I'm getting a couple of people saying volume is an issue. Let me see if I can make any adjustments on my end. I don't know if that's better. I will try to speak up as well. So on that, let me just make one more announcement about interpretation. Gracias por estar con nosotros. Oprime el botón de abajo para escuchar en español. So we are providing Spanish interpretation tonight. Tomorrow, the presentation will be in Spanish and you can listen to it in English. So trying to give our families as many options as possible to get this very important information. And on that note, Dr. Scribner, I would like to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Jennifer, and thank you to all of our school community members who are joining us tonight. We, as you know, are returning to some sense of normalcy slowly but surely. We understand that in-person instruction is in our future for all students. Right now, we're still participating both in person and virtually. And this really has been probably the most challenging year for all of us, professionally, certainly, and for many of us personally as well. Over this past year, Fort Worth ISD teachers and administrators have worked tirelessly to maintain some level of normalcy for our students and families. And we've had to make tough choices about in-person and virtual schooling, finding the right option that's based on each one of your personal situations. It hasn't been easy, and as I've shared with other people in this kind of leadership positions, we really are living in a world where there are half of the folks on one side and half of the folks on the other, and it's difficult to find a decision that is productive for a majority. So we're really working hard to make these decisions moving forward in a very cautious and smart and thoughtful way. It hasn't been easy, as I said. We've done the absolute best under these circumstances, and we've all seen the headlines and statistics about student learning loss, with many estimating loss of several months and possibly years. In fact, we have data about this. Many of you will remember, perhaps some of our younger viewers may not, but Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, we had many of those young people come to Texas. And after losing almost a year of instruction in the public schools of New Orleans, it took some of those students up to 4 years to recover to be at the place that they should have been had they not lost that learning time. So we can't afford that amount of time to go by without us bringing all of our students back to where they should be. So we really have to double down. This is going to be a year of recovery. We're going to work very hard and try and make up as much ground as possible. But we may not be able to make it all up in one academic year. It may be a 2 or 3 year system. In fact, the federal dollars that are arriving here in all districts, but particularly here in Fort Worth ISD, those are actually spread out over the next 3 years, 4 summers and 3 academic years. You've heard me say this many times before, that this has been a year like no other, and we need to help and support our students and families by providing summer learning. And that's what tonight's summer launch opportunity is all about. We will offer summer launch across the district. We will offer it to all students. I was watching on the national news just a few moments ago a conversation with one of my colleagues, the superintendent in Cleveland, and he and I are saying the same thing. I joked with my wife that that the whole concept of summer school having a stigma for students who are dropping behind. But this year, summer school is for everyone, for students who need to make up academic learning loss, but also for students who are on level and students who want to accelerate. We're not about remediation, we're about acceleration, learning in the fast lane and catching up and moving forward, because we understand that we want to prepare our students for success in college, in career, and in community leadership. Tonight, we'll hear from our Chief of Innovation, Dr. David Sines, a very capable leader. He's going to talk about all the options for enrichment and academics at any grade level. We will have a full day summer school program. We will serve breakfast and lunch. We will provide transportation. And the morning will be very structured literacy and mathematics. The afternoon will be fun, enrichment activities and opportunities. But we will, even in those enrichment activities, have literacy built into them, embedded, and also mathematics where appropriate. We're here to support your child. We're here to support you for the students who are watching. Whether that means recovering credits or accelerated learning and attending a fun enrichment camp. So with that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Sines, and he'll take us through more of the specifics. Look forward to getting as many students as possible in our campuses. Remember, we still have several weeks of school left. Our last day of school is not until June the 18th. Summer school will begin on June the 22nd. It'll go for a month from June the 22nd until July 22nd, and David can give us more details. With that, I'll turn it over to Dr. Sines. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Scribner, and great opening there. I'm glad to be here, and most importantly, I think we're all happy to see this growing list of participants on the call. I wanted, before I start the presentation, Dr. Scribner alluded to the fact that we still have time in school, and I think that's an important component, because this year, because of the pandemic, our grading policy allows our students to make up their work, and I want to encourage you to take advantage of that. Parents, talk to your teachers. Students that are on, talk to your teachers. There's still opportunities to make up some of that work from last semester up to this Friday, and for the current semester, obviously until school ends. So I highly recommend you speak to your teachers, your administrators at your home campus. And I want to make that plug, since there was that little door open about the rest of the year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Can you please go to the next slide? Very good. And so our summer learning programs this year will run from June 23rd through July 22nd. We will have 80 potential sites. Excuse me, sorry.
Sorry about that, David.
No worries.
Let me pop out for 1 second.
No problem.
I apologize for the interruption.
No worries. Let me go back to that reiteration of that we still have the opportunity to make up your grades. And for those that have just joined us, please make sure you are working with your campuses. Summer school is for everyone this year. If you want to opt in, we're moving away from a model of recovery. Those options will be available, but we will make sure that other opportunities are there for you. But first of all, the most important thing is to pass those classes now. So Thank you, Jennifer. So just picking up where I left off, 80 potential sites. We will have offerings in elementary, middle, and high school, and I'll go through each of those levels here in a minute. I want to definitely highlight that this is a strong community effort. Not only obviously is Fort Worth ISD involved in this like we always are, but we have other organizations involved throughout the city, like the city of Fort Worth, Campfire, Clayton, and a very strong and new partnership with Reed Fort Worth, where Reed Fort Worth has partnered with Fort Worth ISD to make sure and support other summer programs throughout the city, and to share our literacy framework and train those programs as well with some of the same things that our teachers will do in our summer program. That way, we know that there are so many different programs throughout the city. You can come to us, which we want you to do, but if there's other options that fit your needs better, you can also get a quality of services there as well as there that's focused on literacy.
And David, another partner that we're really looking forward to working with is United Community Centers. They've done great work with our younger learners on literacy. So I just wanted to remind the community that that's going to be an opportunity as well.
Yes, sir. We will have 22 sites for UCC in our campuses. Next slide, please. So our summer learning programs, as Dr. Scribner already alluded, is we want to make sure that our students have extra support this year. That's what it's about. Our summer program is an extension of our current school and a launch into a successful school year next year. And so it's important to note that when your son or daughter comes to our school, it is not only to say, hey, well, look, there's some areas I may need to recover or get better at, but there's also an opportunity to have a good start to next school year. We know this has been an unprecedented year, and this is an unprecedented response to that year. So we encourage you to join us. Next slide, please. The summer learning program will make sure to address various issues. So summer school program will have your traditional opportunities. This is open to all Fort Worth ISD students for recovery and acceleration opportunities, like I mentioned. That learning loss and acceleration, we also want to target, like we have in the past, our highest need students with evidence-based practices, but a strong focus on literacy and math. Okay, we know that from K through 8th and even in high school, we need to make sure that we start with that strong base of literacy in order for our students and us to be successful in other subjects as well. In addition, because of the pandemic, we are embedding social and emotional support processes and programs throughout our curriculum, and that will be embedded in the content areas and the curriculum your child receives. Next slide, please. Our elementary school program, this is for K-5, and there were some questions about this in the chat. This is for current K students, K through 5, that are in our campuses. This will be an in-person 4-hour program, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Okay, in person. We do not have a virtual option this year for our K-5 students. This will be an in-person option. We feel our students' best place right now is to be in the classroom in front of teachers. We will have smaller ratios in the classroom, as we do for most summer school programs, in order to meet the needs of our students. Once again, it'll focus on literacy and math instruction, embedded social and emotional learning, a camp-type culture with hands-on interactive activities. This is not about coming and sitting and doing math problems and reading and just reading random things. It's about building this camp-like atmosphere, this hands-on learning, this project-based learning environment where our students can learn and work through their literacy skills and also learn math at the same time. This will be FWSD curriculum and resources that we offer. Transportation will be available for all our programs. Breakfast and lunch, as Dr. Scribner explained, will be provided. There will be consolidations that occur at our elementary campuses, like all levels, whether it's due to construction or we're working on our buildings, because we also have to prepare for the coming year, or because we have just to be efficient and provide the students a good program. Having a campus with about 10 to 15, 20 students will not provide some of those social emotional interactions that we want as it would at a campus that has, maybe 50, 60 to 100 students. So there will be consolidations, and we'll be sending out that list and posting on our website, and you'll receive communications from your home campuses starting Monday. Next slide, please. Our middle school program, which is our 6-8 program, is also an in-person 4-hour program from 8:30 to 12:30. You may be wondering why the staggered times, but that's because of transportation. We want to be able to have enough time to transport our students to the various programs. This will be campus-based and also on need and interest. K through 8th, the program I just talked about in elementary and middle school is not only for students that have a need, either they've fallen behind or they want to catch up, but also for families that just want to say, you know what, I need my child to go and continue their learning. They wouldn't have to have failed or anything like that, missed attendance. You just want an experience for them in the summer. I know I'm looking for those too for my kids. So you can sign up and you can do that through our website, which we'll share here in a minute. This program too will be based on literacy and math instruction with those same embedded social and emotional learning components. Oops.
Sorry.
No problem. We want to make sure, once again, to prioritize those that had failed math and reading classes. We will prioritize those, but it is open to everyone. Transportation will be provided and breakfast and lunch provided. And once again, those dates are June 22nd through July 23rd, and we'll go over those here in a minute as well. Once again, in middle school, there will be some consolidations occurring for the same reasons. We have construction pieces going on. We have certain work on AC, and we have to make sure that those buildings are ready for the beginning of the year. So some consolidations will occur. I will also say that if your child is a part of a school of choice program, if a school of choice program, they will attend what their home campus would be for the summer program. The schools of choice will not offer a summer program site at their particular campus. Those students will be enrolled and chosen at their school site, like let's take Alice Carlson, but they will attend at their home campus, wherever that may be, so you're closer to home. So the high school academic program is 9 through 12. It's an in-person 4-hour program. Once again, 9 a.m. through 1 p.m. Now, there's a couple of differences in high school. This program, which I'm going to talk to you about on this slide, is in person only. This is going to be offered to our campuses based on need. This is for any student who has failed 2 or more end of course exams, those STAR tests we take. And what are those? Algebra 1, English 1, English 2, biology, and US history. If their students are in those and they fail 2 or more of those courses, they will be asked to attend summer school. You should be hearing from your counselors now, and we'll continue to hear from the counselors at your campus about those students that need to attend. Students who also fail the EOC tests, which we're starting here hopefully in the next week or so or 2 to receive those test scores, and also fail the course, will be also invited to attend. Same things apply: embedded social emotional learning, transportation available, breakfast, lunch provided. And once again, consolidation. And what do I mean by consolidation? That means that, for example, we have wonderful work going on in our high school programs. If you haven't gone by, I'm sure you've seen some of our facades and all the wonderful construction work we're doing through our 2017 bond. The inside looks even better, and we're hoping soon enough you'll be able to get to see those. But that takes time to complete, and summer is a great time to do that. So a lot of our high schools will be under construction this summer, and they will have to consolidate with another school, likely their middle school. Southwest High School, for example, they will consolidate with Wedgwood Middle. And we will have all those sites consolidations posted by Monday of this week. That way you know where the summer school will be held. And you'll also receive that information from your campus. Now, here's the one virtual program we are offering for our students, and this is for high school. This is an academic program 9th through 12th. This will be an assignment that will be done through our program called Edgenuity. It's our credit recovery program, and this will be all asynchronously. And so this was a question that was also in the chat: is what does that mean? What does asynchronous mean? That means the students work at their own pace. They don't have to join at any specific time. They don't have to join at 8 a.m. or not. They can do the work when they need to do their work. And they will have a teacher, though, that does check in on them. In addition, that teacher will be in person and available at their high school campus or at that middle school campus, depending on where they're going, where they can go and get help during the day if they need to, during those same hours of 9 to 1 o'clock. That way, there's also that connection, and they can obviously connect as well virtually. But if sometimes you need that face-to-face interaction with a teacher, and we want to make sure you get that. This is for all non-EOC courses. Once again, we're using acronyms: end of course, EOC. What does that mean? This is for a select group of courses, which is on our website. That is not, okay, that is not. So English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, and US History are all in person. Everything else will be through this Edgenuity program where you'll get to work at your own pace. All of our students will have access to summer curbside meals to go. So even if you're virtual, or even if you're not in summer school, we invite you to come pick up a meal at any of the sites that'll be open throughout the city, either for breakfast or lunch. We will make sure to offer supports to all of our students in various areas, including bilingual ESL. Students will receive those supports if they're attending in person in the elementary program. There'll also be targeted opportunities that your child will receive from their school for dual language immersion camp, ESL enrichment, and other ESL enrichment for long-term English learners. We do have a newcomer program. So for students that are new to our district and are learning a language, that'll be by invite for 9th through 11th that are here for our first or 3 years in school, but those students will receive invites from their home campus about those opportunities. Next slide, please. And just like bilingual ESL, we want to make sure we offer support for our students that are in special education. This will include dyslexia support, inclusion support, which means there's support in the classroom that they're in for the students. There'll also be resource support. In addition to that, there'll be special camps offered for social skills camp. That'll be a 1-week camp offered through our special education department. An extended school year for students that qualify for the extended school year in self-contained classrooms. And also a regional day program for our students that are in need, that are in our Deaf Ed program. And those sites, and those are by invitation, and the families that are in need of those services and students that are in need of those services, you will be contacted by your special education instructors to get more information about those programs. So going back to this community support, we mentioned Reed Fort Worth, and they are a great partner that is supporting this and providing training to over 100 community partners in literacy best practices. UCC is a part of that group as well. They are engaged in the work of making sure that our literacy framework and all the resources we use in our summer program are embedded into their programs as well. That way we can reach as many students as possible. We have opened our campuses to the Fort Worth community agencies like UCC, like Clayton Yes, to offer these opportunities. Oops. Some of the extended learning opportunities that Dr. Scribner referred to are going to be offered at Bonnie Bray, Clifford Davis, A.M. Pate, West Hanley, Bill Elliott, Morningside, Harleen Beale, West Creek, and Western Hills Elementary. We're also looking at other opportunities that will add to other elementary sites that will publicize on our site. How do you take advantage of a full day program? You can attend the half day for the academic portion and stay after lunch for the full day program. And how do you indicate that? Well, in our application, there's a checkbox that says, I am interested in learning about the full day option. Once you do that and you fill out your application, it goes to your home school. They will be in contact with information of what will be available at that particular site for an extended learning opportunity, should you choose to engage that. You are not required to attend both. This is an opportunity for our families if they want to do it. And yes, I saw the question come through, and I'm going to go ahead and answer it since I'm talking about it, is, are we required to go to our home site? We are basing it on the home site for the home school. So yes, our students would go through their home school to go to a summer program. It may be shared with another elementary school. And so it may be in a different building, but you would go through your home school. Next slide, please. We are offering other opportunities as well. These are either 1-week programs, virtual options, all sorts of different offerings that'll be available and will also be promoted from your campus and through our summer launch site. And keep visiting that site. We keep updating it with new opportunities as we get them, not only from internal sources, but external sources. Some of those are going to be collegiate test prep, SAT, ACT, PSAT, TSI. This would be in-person and virtual options that we'll offer either on Saturdays or through virtual means, where we'll have recorded webinars, in-person or live webinars, so students can prepare for their next SAT, ACT exam. We're also having a Summer Link program for all graduating seniors that are off to college. What Summer Link is is we work with our seniors that want it, and we'll also, this will be available through your counselors. And we check up on them all summer long to ensure that they have everything they need. Have they made the calls to the college to secure housing? Have they called in to make sure of when their classes are going to be? So we want to make sure we provide that support, that just because you've graduated doesn't mean that we've let you go, right? We want you to take advantage. If you have a graduating senior, that they work with their counselor and let them know, hey, I want to be a part of Summer Link. We'll also put information for that on our website, so you can have that as well. Our A²I Summer Acceleration Mathematics Program. This is for students that are accelerating in Algebra 1, geometry, in order to get to higher math courses later on in their high school career. That will be available to our students, as it has been. It's a very successful program and has been offered every summer. In addition, something that we're growing this year is our secondary transition camps. We want our 8th grade students that are coming to 9th grade to start experiencing the high school hallways, the high school experience a little earlier than usual. Okay. Each high school will be reaching out to their incoming 8th graders to provide information about these camps, but we wanted to promote it here so you can keep an eye out. These will usually be a couple of days to a week long, but your home high school will communicate that information to you. This is outside the other summer learning that we're doing. This is more towards the end of July, beginning of August. So there's another ramp up to the school year. Some other targeted summer learning opportunities, and what that means is that these are by invitation, or students are selected. We're offering My Brother's Keeper STEM Camp at Como Community Center, the Doc Bookshop, and another third side that I know our equity department is working on. Our students that are in ECHS PTech, those that have chosen and been selected into ECHS, our early college high school program, which I want to make sure I plug here again, because we have parents of all levels on this call. Fort Worth ISD has 13 early college high school programs, meaning your child, when they get to 8th grade, can decide to start college early in 9th grade at any one of at 9 of our high schools and at 3 of our standalone sites within our district. That means that before they graduate high school, they would have earned their associate's degree. For example, actually next week, 2 weeks from now, our students that are in the program now are walking the stage and earning their associate's degree before they actually get their high school diploma. That's available to your students for free. And I want to make sure that everybody on this call hears that, because as your child progresses through our system, we want them to take advantage of these opportunities. I wanted to make sure I plug that. Texas College Bridge is for our juniors that are looking to get a little bit ahead in their college career as well. That'll be a virtual opportunity that's offered through the high school campus. And I already mentioned the secondary transition camps. These are targeted programs that usually the counselors will let our students know, but we'll also make sure to continue to add these programs into our summer launch site. Next slide, please. Registration. We encourage you to visit the summer launch site now. We've started our first phase of registration. If you look at the little screenshot here, you'd see these links. And there is a registration link there, a little registration box, looks like a computer screen. That's what you hit in order to go say, you know what, I am K through 8th and I want to go to a summer program. I don't know yet if my student is going to be called because he failed or not. It doesn't matter. I want my child to attend a summer program, because this year, summer launch is for everyone. And those registration details are there, www.fwisd.org/summer launch. More information will continue to be uploaded on that website. Next slide, please.
All right. We have reached the, oh, did I miss one, David?
I think that, no, that was it. That was it. I already talked about the lunch, where we do have breakfast and lunch at our schools, and any site that's open will offer the meals to go as well.
I'm so sorry. We have, the chat has just gone out of control. A couple of us have been working on questions, and we want to try to get to as many as possible tonight. So let me get my video back on. And are you ready to dig in?
Let's dig in.
Okay, so a couple of questions about attendance recovery. How does that play into all of this?
The attendance recovery for the high school program will also be available, and that will be obvious, will be with your counselors, your administrators contacting those students specifically if they're in need to recover attendance. It will be able to be done during the summer portion program of the high school. And that will be for the students that are in need of that. And yes, that will be available.
Great. Okay, we're going to do some rapid fire. So
Let's do it.
there were several questions around the asynchronous option for high school students in those non-EOC courses.
Correct.
So I'll just kind of go through these and let you explain, or any courses. I mean, is it pretty much any courses? There was one specifically about foreign language, French specifically. And then can people take the courses to accelerate for next year?
So let me answer first the question about the high school courses asynchronous. So once again, let me reiterate what that means is that those students will be at their own pace with regards to when they can take the course. It will be open. A student will enroll and start school June 22nd, and they can start the course at that point. It will close right when summer school closes as well. So they have that 1 month to enroll in that, to complete that course. We don't allow more than 2 courses at the moment, just because it is a lot of work to do, and we want to make sure that students have the time to do it. Right now, at the moment, we will take into consideration the French. We offer Spanish, both Spanish 1 and 1A, 1B, and 2A and 2B. We do not have French on the catalog, but it is one that we will be glad to explore and offer if it is available through our system in Edgenuity. That's a good comment, and we'll take that back.
All right, thank you. And I think maybe you covered this a little bit, but how many credits can be recovered? You just said it's a lot of work, so.
Yes, and we want to make sure the student has every opportunity to succeed. And let me answer it this way. I already said we have 2 for the asynchronous experience. Okay, a student can do, for example, if I am a student that failed English 1 and Algebra 1, and I'm in those courses in person, okay, that's 2 credits. We will allow at least 1 asynchronous making up of credit, because they're in school half a day, right? They do have other time to maybe finish an asynchronous course. So in that case, since we don't want to block that opportunity for students that are in person, they would be able to make up 1. In that case, it'd be 3 credits for those students that are in person. But if you're completely virtual, we don't want to do more than 2.
Okay, great. And Dr. Scribner, one that is come up several times is a question about masks. Is that something that you can address?
Sure. Well, under the current guidelines, and many of you saw that Governor Abbott indicated that municipalities, cities, counties, school districts would no longer be authorized to issue mask mandates or mask requirements as of June the 4th. And as we stated earlier, our school year goes all the way through June the 18th, and summer school begins on June the 22nd through July the 22nd. So after June the 4th, masks would not be required. They would be optional. I mean, certainly people are not going to be prohibited from wearing masks, but we would not require them for any student. What we are going to be doing in the meantime, between now and June 4th, is at our next board meeting on Tuesday night, the 25th, we will be making a decision regarding how we will operate between now and June 4th. Will we remove masks altogether? Will we make them optional outside? Will we allow some students to have them be optional inside? Those are all considerations that our board will be voting on Tuesday night. But with regard to summer school, and I saw several questions here about in-person, summer school will be in person. That opportunity will exist. There will be some virtual opportunities for high school students, and David can add more specificity there. But masks will not be required for high school. We can encourage, we can welcome, and we can allow, but they will not be required.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Dr. Scribner. And yeah, so let me just go ahead and add that to K through 8th is in person, and in high school, it's for those courses that are non-end of course. And like I mentioned, those end of course courses that will be in person: English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, and U.S. History.
And Dr. Sines, what about, this was a kind of popular one. What if vacation is already planned and is happening between these dates? And can you repeat the dates again? Because there were a couple questions in the
Yes,
chat.
so definitely. So let me go first into the question about the vacations. And so it depends on the level of your child. I think that's important to make sure we distinguish, because in high school, it's important that since they're making up credit, that they attend as many days as possible. It's not hard to say a steadfast rule. We have put a standard of 2 days missed that will put the student in jeopardy of missing that credit if they're in person, right? So remember that if they're in person. In high school, if you're asynchronous virtual, if you're taking our credit recovery virtual courses, you can do those at any point. You can do those on vacation, right? And so that's important to consider. Now, for the elementary and middle school, there's less of a standard. We still want to abide like don't miss more than 2 days, but since we're not talking about credits like we do in high school, there is a little more flexibility there. We want them to come, and if they're going to miss a couple of days, and a few days because of vacation, it's kind of butted up to a weekend, we still want them to come back. The opportunity is still there. We want you in our program.
Great, thank you. And then the dates.
Yes, and the dates we have for summer launch are, I'm sorry, June, that's what was confused, June 23rd through July 22nd. And I may have said that in reverse when I was talking.
I think
My
we've
apologies.
all said them every which
my apologies about that.
So I think we're all getting those backwards. So let's go back. There were several questions about families who are out of district.
Yes.
And also choice or gold seal campuses.
Definitely.
Can you kind of go over the process?
Sure.
For that?
Glad to. So first, for our students that are out of district, this year our summer school program, considering its size, is for in-district students. In the past, we have offered that opportunity, but we believe a lot of our neighbors are offering a pretty robust summer school as well. We have reached out to some of them to discuss that, but it will be for Fort Worth ISD students. Now, for our choice schools, if we're talking K-8, we want you to take advantage of their opportunity and declare that. What will happen is if your student is attending one of those choice schools in K-8, they will still talk to their home campus, pick one, whether it's YMLA, YWLA, or any of our choice campuses, and they will be signed up there, but they will attend at the campus closest to them, to their home. And that's so just to help the family out as well. And so there will be available for high school, will be similar. There'll be asynchronous options. And for if they have to take some of the courses that are in person, they will be, once again, scheduled at their site closest to their home.
Great. And that kind of goes into a little bit jumping around here. So transportation. As we look at transportation, are we thinking about doing it like, okay, elementary will drop off, they'll be picked up at middle schools and then dropped off at the campus, or how does that work?
So with transportation, we will, our goal is to provide that service to our families door, well, maybe not door to door, but closest to their, to their home and to the campus directly. In a case where we do have to have families drop off at a campus and pick them up, and we will let you know of those situations, but right now we're planning our routes to pick up students close to their home and drop them off at the school site where summer school is taking place, so that we can avoid that, dropping them off here and then picking them up here, take them to the school anyway. And we're working with our bus transportation to make that possible.
Awesome. And we actually got a question from a parent whose child is not enrolled in Fort Worth ISD. Are they allowed, or do they have to be Fort Worth ISD students? This year,
we are doing only for Fort Worth ISD students this year. And so, like I said, it's the size of our school this year, our program, and in talking to most of our partners, they're offering pretty robust summer schools in their areas as well.
Great. And then let's see, this is Monday through Thursday. I know a couple of people were asking about Friday options, but it is a Monday through Thursday only. Is that correct?
It is a Monday through Thursday option, and that's, for various reasons, but mostly to give not only our students but also our wonderful faculty some time off. Our school ends June 18th, and it goes right up to really when teachers have to report back. And so we kind of took it in our survey. We saw it was more of a need for Monday through Thursday.
And can you maybe go into a little more detail about the registration process? When parents can go to our website at fwisd.org/summer launch. But what happens next? What information do
Definitely.
they need?
Great. So if you go to that website and sign up on that link, you'll enter some basic information. Your student's name and your student's ID is what you will need the most to make sure that happens. Okay. Once that happens, those names, we collect them and send them to your school site, right? That's our phase one and what we've started already and launched. It'll go to your home school and they will contact you with more information. That process starts on Monday. Right now, we've been collecting a pretty long list of students that are interested in summer school. In addition to that, what also will start on Monday will be campuses starting to make their list of kids they're inviting to come. So you'll start hearing from multiple sources, one being students are invited, or two, hey, you signed up on our website and you wanted more information about summer school. Here's what it is, and here's how we'll enroll you into that program. We want to make sure that our home campuses are the conduit for that information, because they're the ones that know you best and the needs of your child best.
And you can add students, correct?
Yes.
I was looking at it the other day, and I put one kid in, and then
Oh, yes.
there's a button to add another student.
Yes.
So
if I have 1, 2, 3 kids, I can do them at different kids, different levels as well.
Yeah. That's really nice. It's all right in one place. Let's see.
And once again, Jennifer, I think it's important to state that summer school is for everyone this year. If you want an opportunity, if you want an experience for summer school for K-8, high school is a little bit more targeted, but please sign up on that link. You don't have to be invited by your school to attend, and we want to keep reiterating that because we want our families to take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, and Dr. Scribner, do you mind just kind of, doing, I know some parents in the chat maybe missed the first part. Can you just kind of give that high level overview that you did a little earlier, just about, what what we've all experienced and the things that we've read in the headlines?
No, sure, absolutely. And David, while I'm kind of giving some background, there's some specific questions in the chat. Maybe you can take a quick look at those and offer some insight. But I would say the biggest difference of this year as compared to previous years is that summer school is for everyone. There has historically been a stigma that summer school is for those individuals who have struggled with a class or failed a class and needed to graduate. But this year it's for all students, kindergarten through 12th. Yes, it'll allow some students to catch up, but it'll allow some students to accelerate, some students to make up from lost credits, and some students to choose academic or enrichment classes. It'll be a full day. We're going to be offering breakfast and lunch and transportation. And as David indicated, it may not be door to door. You may have to get to your local elementary or middle school and then be transported, or the school may happen at that building. It'll be a full day. In the morning, there will be structured literacy and math. In the afternoon, it'll be an enrichment program, a high energy, exciting experience that will have literacy embedded into the enrichment activity, or if it's a STEM, science or technology or engineering or mathematics program, certainly not only will have literacy in the afternoon, but also math. But all classes will have math and literacy focus in the morning. We're working with many great partners, as Jennifer and David indicated, Reed Fort Worth, Clayton Yes, the United Community Centers, among others. Grades K-8 will be taught entirely in person, and The high schools, there will be an option. David can speak specifically to that. My notes say June 20. There's been some back and forth, David. Maybe you can clarify. My notes say June 22nd to July 22nd, and if we can clarify that on the website and here, that would be great. But it will be a month long. As I said, breakfast and lunch. And in addition to tonight's information session, tomorrow we'll have one in Espanol, Spanish session. And if you want more information, and we'll be updating this regularly, it is on our website, fwisd.org/summer launch. But we're really looking forward to welcoming everyone, K through 12. When we talk about this being overcoming this global pandemic, it may take more than a year to catch students back up. We talked about this being a year of recovery, and we look forward to this being the first step in person as we continue our school year for the next 4 weeks or so through June the 18th, and then starting the following week. David?
Get off mute here. Yes, sir. The just to confirm those dates again, we have been, I think, transposing them back and forth. June 23rd, it's a Wednesday. June 23rd, it's a Wednesday, and they will go through July 22nd, which is a Thursday. And so those will be the dates for the summer school. It's right about a month long.
So Wednesday, June 23rd.
Yes, sir.
Through Thursday, July 22nd.
Yes, sir. Okay. And we will make sure that that is clear in the website as well, just to clear up any confusion.
And I just marked my calendar that's right up here above my eye line, so I get it straight as well.
Very good. So I would like to answer some of the questions that I've seen on here, just so it'll miss with the typing, but just tell everybody, because I'm sure there are things that folks want to know. Can attendance recovery be done virtually? Unfortunately not. Attendance recovery has to be done in person. And so that's something that our students would have to attend in person to get that, to get that time back. We were asked about grades, and this specifically for high school. In K-8, there will be feedback, but there won't necessarily be grades per se. However, in high school, we do want our students to make sure that they master the content. You may see a grade come out of it, but whatever grade they earn in either their credit recovery or any of the in-person options it will just become pass-fail. So for example, a student can't come to summer school after failing a course and get a 95 and get that on their GPA. It's just pass-fail. So a student can earn it, and they have to attend the whole time as much as possible. Remember, we talked about those 2 days to ensure that they master that content so that they can get that pass and earn the credit. They'll still earn the credit, but it won't affect their GPA in this case.
Can we talk a little bit about, and maybe both of you kind of chime in on this, about the embedded social emotional learning? And maybe Dr. Scribner, if you could, Dr. Saenz, if maybe you could talk about what the embedded will look like, and maybe Dr. Scribner talk about the importance.
Yeah, so we've had students who have not been in a school building for a year. And some of those students have experienced extremely difficult situations, perhaps loss of a family member at home. Others have moved from one campus to another. Some went from 5th grade to middle school or middle school to high school. So we want to make sure that students not only are being cared for academically, but that we have some social and emotional supports. All of us know, even in our professional lives, if we are having anxiety, or if we are having stress, or if we are emotionally not in a good place, then learning and productivity suffers. In many cases, it just can't happen. So we certainly want to focus, because we have to, our number one goal is academic improvement of academic outcomes and achievement. But you can't get there unless we are educating and supporting the whole child. So yes, literacy and mathematics in the morning, enrichment in the afternoon with literacy and mathematics where applicable, but all around we want to have social and emotional support for our students. And I can speak from my personal experience many, many years ago, 34 years ago, in fact, as a high school teacher, and then a few years after that as a high school counselor, the importance of connecting with students, connecting with families, and providing them the necessary support interpersonally so that they can be supportive, they can be successful academically.
Yes, in regards to the embedded, really what that means simply is that we're not doing a separate course for it. We want to make sure that the interactions the students are having in the classroom, because some of our students are becoming back in person for the first time, are positive, and that they're structured, and that they're safe too, that we're not always forcing them to say, hey, let's get into this big collaborative group, that there's structure behind that. And we'll be training our teachers in how to handle those situations. And that's what the embedded SEL will look like. It'll be structures of how to have a conversation, conflict resolution, and also have supports. This is the first year that we're asking really counselors to work our program, so that we have those supports. If a student is in need of something outside the classroom, that they have to talk to a counselor, one of our counselors from our campuses, to get those supports. But once again, just to reiterate, embedded means it'll be within the course content that they're doing in the classes, and with special training for our teachers to ensure that, there is some different things that happened during this whole pandemic, and we want to be there to support our kids emotionally.
Thank you. And that's so important, to hear as a parent of two kids that, we were virtual until after spring break. And I mean, it was hard. It was very difficult. And so I hope that, our families really understand how important that element is to the success of all of this. And so just, want to be mindful of everyone's time, because this has been a lot of information, and, we want to address as many questions, but I'm only going to do two more. And we will try to get to some of the other ones in the chat. I mean, that were in the chat. We can create an FAQ on the summer launch website. But several questions about dress code. What's the dress code for in-person summer school?
So our summer school dress code usually, for high school, it'll follow the high school dress code.
But David, the first thing we have to say is, because of the governor's executive order, masks will not, let's start from the head and move down. Masks will not be required, but certainly can be encouraged, can be optional, and will not be discouraged.
Definitely. And in regards to dress code, we do want our students to be in summer school. We don't want the dress code to be a hindrance, but there is a standard dress that we do have. So our students, like high school, as well as elementary, that our students come, ready to learn. While we don't, follow that uniform code to a T, it's important they come ready to learn. Let's just put it that way.
All right. So maybe relaxed.
I would say relaxed is a good way to say it. That's correct. That's correct. It is summer after all, right, Dr.
T-shirt and shorts.
Yeah, right.
So, I think that's good for parents. And then, we've had one that I think is the last one is, can we just kind of go over what recovery means? Because I think it means a couple of different things. Mm-hmm.
So we have attendance recovery, and I'll make sure to cover that one. Is that this is for students that have maybe missed some days, or once again, a lot of things happened and they need to make up. We have state laws. We cannot grant credit to students if they missed a certain number of days. And usually if they drop under 90% attendance, or I'm sorry, 80% attendance, we can't grant credit by law. This opportunity in summer school allows us to make up some of that time, so we can grant you the credit, and students can get that credit and move on their high school career. That's attendance recovery. When we're talking about grade recovery, credit recovery, that simply means you failed the course and we're offering you an opportunity to retake some elements of that course. You usually don't take the entire course. You retake the areas you need to retake to learn what you need to learn for the next grade, and you're able to get a pass-fail. Okay, so I failed, I had the Spanish example. I failed Spanish 1. I go and I join Edgenuity. Edgenuity gives me a test and say, oh, you need to do this lesson, and this lesson. Once you're done, we'll be able to grant you that credit, and we'll award that on your transcript so you continue on your high school career. That's high school. And in middle school, follows very similar paths, although there's no credits in middle school. So we're focusing on literacy and math there. If you come to middle school, summer school, and take our literacy and math courses, you will be moved on to the next grade level either way, because we're not holding back per se in this particular way, the way STAR has done in the past. And they can recover that at their middle school and move on to 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, wherever they're going.
All right, thank you so much. Well, I appreciate everyone joining us. Thank you, Dr. Scribner. Thank you, Dr. Stein, so much. Guess what, team? We get to do this again tomorrow, but in Spanish. So tell your friends, we are going to post this video on Facebook and our website tomorrow morning. We will get that taken care of. And so look for it there. Share it with your friends. Let them know about tomorrow night's info session as well. And I do want to give a little plug for this weekend. If you need any help registering for pre-K, kindergarten, or our summer launch program, you can come out to Diamond Hill Community Center. We will be there, Fourth ISD will be there from 9 a.m. to noon. We also have Let's Talk, which is an online system. You can submit a question anytime at www.fwisd.org/feedback. And with that, thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.
Thank
Good night.
you. Good night.